Hey guys, so it's been a couple of months since I published a video on this amazing gaming YouTube channel, but I do have a good excuse to talk to you all today because this is the Xbox Series X, and what I'd like to do for you all today is an unboxing, and then we can have a closer look at the system itself. Now at this point, this has obviously been out for a few months. It was released in November 2020, and at this point, you should have a better understanding as to what the price is, specifications, and its features. But I'll leave a link to the website so you can check it out and you can learn more about it if you still don't know much about what the Xbox Series X is about. Now, I will say at this point in 2021, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S, and the X, they are still all in short supply. And because of that, some retailers are, I guess you could say, taking advantage of gamers because I bought this from Game in the UK and they said that this was sold out, but I could buy it with a controller or a game, which, yeah, it's a little bit sneaky because clearly this is not the same package. They're just trying to push people to buy additional accessories from them so they can make some more money. But I'm pointing that out because if you do see one of these newer consoles available, you might have to buy it in a bundle in order to get the console because they're still selling out quite quickly. But not a problem for me. I'll use this when friends are over. I can use it with my PC as well because I still play games on my PC. Currently, I use this Xbox One controller to play games on my PC, but I don't have an Xbox One and I've never owned any Xbox. This will be the first Xbox that I've ever purchased. I've owned PlayStations over the years, but I never owned an Xbox. But I've obviously played Xboxes before. I played the original Xbox at friends' houses, the 360 and the One as well. I've always been a fan of them. And I will say, I'm not a fanboy of PlayStation, of Xbox, or even of PC games or Nintendo consoles. To me, it's just all about games. And if history has shown us anything in the gaming world, it's that whenever consoles are released at the same time, there's always one system which looks better on paper from a specifications and features point of view. But it's all about the games and it's all about which platform and which system your friends are playing on. And for this generation, most of my friends are playing games on the Xbox. So I've picked up the Xbox Series X. But without further ado, let's have a closer look at the Xbox Series X. So here is the box for the Xbox Series X, 4K 120 frames per second, 1TB SSD. And on the side here, there's a few other specifications which are mentioned, up to 8K high dynamic range, variable refresh rate, Xbox velocity architecture, and 4K Blu-ray player. Then on the back, we have where you need to cut it. So it looks like we've got sellotape points here, left and right, and then 2 at the bottom. And then I think we'll need to turn it back around. Okay, so open it up. And I want to just show you the padding here. So there's the padding at the top there. Really well presented. And then we've got Power Your Dreams. Really nice presentation here. Okay, so it looks like there's like cardboard here, you just have to pull. So there's the Xbox Series X. Just got some instructions there to get started. And then at the top here, we've got all the accessories. Let's get these out. So as far as the accessories go, we have the Xbox Series X controller. We've got 2 Duracell batteries. So as far as what you get in the box, you obviously get the Xbox Series X, which we'll look at in a second. You've got the product, limited warranty and guide, etc., which no one will ever look at. We've got the plug, which looks to be about 1.5 meters. And then we've got the HDMI, I believe 2.1 cable. And if you look at it here, you can see when I hold up to the camera here, it says HDMI Ultra High Speed. So the cable looks really good. It looks really good quality. It's about 2 meters in length. So that's about 1.5 meters. That's 2 meters. Guide, batteries, and then the controller itself, which kind of standard affair at this point. We kind of know what to expect, but it does look good. Looks like a really nice controller. So I've showed you the boring accessories. So we can now look at the Xbox Series X itself, and I believe I've got this upside down. Okay, so I've spun it around the right way, and this is the Xbox Series X. This is what it looks like. Looks quite good in my opinion, but I do think the Xbox Series S looks a little bit better. It's just like a plain black design. It looks like a standard ITX PC, like a Tower ITX, and looks okay. It's quite a minimal design actually. If I put this down here, we can see it in the overhead camera. And, you know, as far as dimensions go, it's 15.1 by 15.1 by 30.1 centimeters, weighs 9.8 pounds, which is about 4.5 kilograms. Looking at it here, you've got the Xbox button here for power. You've got your Blu-ray disc eject button there. You've got your button for connecting to your controller. And then there's a USB 3.1 type A port. At the bottom there, if I show you, you've actually got the base, so that's what it sits in. And there are some vents down the bottom there as well to let some heat escape. So I don't know how good ventilation will be at the bottom, but it's obviously designed to let some heat out the bottom. And the rest of the heat and the air will go out the top here through this grill. Nothing at the sides here. It does look like this will scrape quite easily, if I'm honest. But looking in the back there, we've got some more vents here. And then if I turn it around, we've got two USB 3.1 type A. We've got Ethernet. We've got the power connector. We've got HDMI 2.1 there, HDMI out. And then we've got the storage expansion slot there. So that's for your expensive SSD expansion. So there's not a lot to it visually as far as what the console looks like. But I do think it looks quite good. It's certainly different to what we've seen in the past. So as you can see, the Xbox Series X has been switched on, and it's brought me to this setup page. Now I've connected the controller already. All you have to do is put in your Duracell batteries and then click on the wireless button at the back of the controller, and then click on the wireless button at the front of the console, and then you're connected. So you'll see the wireless button, like I showed earlier, is just above the front USB port, and you basically connect instantly. So once you're connected with your controller, you can basically just go through the setup process here and enter your Wi-Fi details, enter your location, etc. But an alternative method is to go through the Xbox app. And you saw that that's what they're promoting on the installation page there. So when you go through to the app, it will say, it looks like you haven't set up a console yet. You can see it there. So you simply just click that, it says set up a new console, and then it will ask you to enter the code on your TV. Or in my case, my monitor. So I've selected to connect to the console. It searches for your device, and then it says connect to the device. And then it says you are connected to your console. So I'm now connected to the Xbox Series X, but I could have just went through and just selected the language and location, etc. But the app basically asks you the same questions. You can see there, asking for my location and the language, etc. You click on next, and now it's saying let's update. It's got an update to go through, and I've got this wired already. I don't have to set up any Wi-Fi details because I've got the Ethernet cable in already. So you can see it's updating the console in the background here, but it's recommending that I continue the setup on my mobile device. And on this page here, it's asking me to choose a power mode, energy saving or instant on. And I think I'll go for instant on. I can always change it later, but this seems to be the quickest way to get set up. Then it's just asking me for automatic updates. So the next page here is just asking me to turn on remote features, and then it's saying get signed in with your Xbox profile. Pretty straightforward. So in the next few pages, it asked how I wanted to sign in, how I wanted them to handle my information, how I wanted security settings to be, and it allowed me to name the console as well. I just called it Xbox Series X, but you can call it like living room Xbox, etc. It's now asking me which app I want to put onto the console. So that's it. My Xbox Series X has been set up. Using the app, it's relatively straightforward, but the process is pretty much identical when you just use the controller as well. So there it is, guys. The Xbox Series X has been set up, and the whole process was extremely straightforward. All you really have to do is say OK to many different things, connect to the internet, sign into your Xbox account, and download any required updates. At the end there, what I had to do was update my controller, say whether I wanted Game Pass Ultimate, and confirm my TV or monitor settings. But once you've done all that, you'll be presented with the famous Xbox interface, and yeah, I'm good to go. I can start gaming now. Now at this point, I've obviously not downloaded any games. I've not downloaded YouTube or Netflix or any apps either. But what I want to show you is the system storage in particular, because this obviously has a 1 terabyte SSD drive, but the operating system is going to take up a lot of that. And you can see that there's about 800 gigabytes of storage free. So it's saying 799. So I've got about 800 gigabytes for games and apps now to use. And beyond that, I'm going to have to pony up some extra cash for the storage upgrade. But yeah, that's all there is to it, guys. Not a lot to say at this point, but yeah, I would say that the whole setup process was straightforward. I don't think any of you are going to have any problems setting up your Xbox Series X. I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing and first look at the Xbox Series X. At this point, my console is doing absolutely nothing. But tonight I'll be downloading more games and apps, and over the next week or so, I'll be playing this a lot to get an idea of what I like and what I don't like. And one of the other things I'll be paying attention to over the next week is how loud this is when you're actually playing games, because it's silent just now, but it's not doing anything. It's a different story when you're playing games. So stay tuned for that. I'll do a video about that in the future. As far as the presentation goes, I guess it's not that important, but I was impressed with the whole presentation. I thought everything was packaged really well, and yeah, absolutely no complaints there, and no complaints about the setup process. You can do it using the controller, you can do it using the app. It's straightforward either way you do it. And I don't think anyone's going to have any complaints with the Xbox user interface either. It's, really easy to use. I'm coming from the PlayStation world, but yeah, it's simple. I don't think anyone's going to have any complaints with this, and if you do, then I'm sure after using it for a week or so, you'll be accustomed to how it works. As far as the design of the Xbox goes, relatively straightforward as far as how it works, etc. You've got the USB at the front, you've got two at the back. I guess one of my major complaints with it is that it's not easy to add additional storage cheaply. You have to buy their Seagate storage option. Hopefully there'll be a different option in the future. I would have liked to have been able to just, maybe just add some NVMe drives or external drives via Thunderbolt or something, but it is what it is. I think the lack of an optical audio output at the back of the console is also a little bit disappointing, as that will restrict how you use the Xbox Series X with speakers and amplifiers and certain headsets. As far as the design goes, it's okay. I don't think it's awful, I don't think it's horrible to look at, but it's kind of plain. It's just like a black ITX PC style case, and you've got the kind of cheese grater concave vents at the top. It looks good, but I don't think it's the best looking console out there. I think the Xbox Series S looks better than it. But yeah, it's okay. It's not offensive, and it's certainly not something that I care about, if I'm honest. But yeah, this has been the Xbox Series X. I will be doing more videos in the future about this system, and I will be perhaps buying Xbox related accessories as well, like headsets and batteries and different things. So please stay tuned for that if you are an Xbox user, or even if you're not. But thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions, please do post them below. And until next time, take care.